All right, remember this project? We definitely have made no progress on it, but we're going to do the right thing and tear down farther. Sure, we're going to get started right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, that's the Oliver Man. This here Oliver 70. I had the good forethought to stick the hood back on, and it looks like that was a smart move because it got a little snow on it. I just took my rags off and checked, and everything's clean as can be under there. No snow or anything got on there, and it's coated down generously with Zep, because that is supposed to also be good for corrosion resistance. But you're asking yourself, well, if you did nothing, like you didn't take the head away yet, what are you going to do? Well, it occurs to me that I have some governor issues on this rig, and what it was doing all the time was it would just be like wide open. You could never get the correct governor action. It was either idle or wide open. And so I think what I gotta do is tear this governor apart and see what's going on. I mean, maybe it chucked the bearing that's in there and that's toast. I don't know. I know this is not gonna be a pleasant experience because this all has to come off of here. There's probably going to be when I wish I had taken the carburetor all the way off, but that is neither here nor there. I think what I'll do, well, what I'm getting at is, oh, I thought I was, okay. Just a minute, technical difficulties. I kept feeling colder and I realized my thinking stool had a thin layer of ice on it. So we can't have that. My brain was getting too cold. All right. What I'm getting at here is the governor is mostly part of this, if I recall correctly. And then it kind of hangs out in here, and then this just caps it off. Where on a normal, quote, tractors, this would be your governor housing that would bolt on. They didn't do it that way. They made this section part of the timing cover. So I guess we'll start by taking this off, because it's 3 bolts and an oil line, and we'll see what happens. If we can pull out the governor, like is it just twisted in? It also regulates your ignition timing some way, so that's going to be an issue at some point. I mean, we're going to have to retime it is what I'm saying, which ain't no big deal, but we got to see what is self-destructed, because something is not right. And why am I doing this now, you ask? Well, because it would be nice to hunt the pieces. And I have another motor like this, but it's probably buried in the snow right now, that I bought for parts specifically for this project. But time will tell, friends, time will tell. We do need to get I guess another thing would be to take that stuff loose. Although we could just, in theory, well, do we want to let it hang? I don't know about that. But I gotta get a screwdriver to, I don't know what I've done there. Apparently the pin was missing and I put in a screw, or that's what was in there when I started messing with it. I don't remember those days. That was a long, long time ago. One thing's for sure, here in the shed where it's in the shade, it's really cold. It's a lot colder than it is out there in the sun. So why am I not doing projects out there in the sunshine? Good question, dummy. Good question. Let's see if this will become the correct size. It might be froze up in there. Nope, there we go. Limited room here. If you want to be able to see, anyway. Okay. Maybe we should investigate something better than that, but maybe that's as good as it gets. I don't know. Oh, awesome. I've got... Alright, stay. We don't want to lose it, but we also don't want to end up dropping it down in anything if we disassemble things, you know. So right there, I already don't know that it feels correct. I feel like there should be more something happening, but we will see. I would guess that what we've got here is a 9/16, so a 3/8 bolt. That confuses people when you talk like that, but it's a 3/8 bolt, which takes a 9/16 head or socket or wrench or something to take it loose. 3/8 is the thread size, see, and it's covered with a thick layer of paint, so that's going to also prove to be troublesome, probably. Let's get this one. Let's get them all loose first, and then we'll go from there. Or we'll just do the exact opposite of what I said and take it all loose. I don't care. I don't know what we'll find, because I really have very limited experiences working on a 70. I also got to thinking the other day when we talked about how this motor had been used and everything. A lot of the motors, you'd see the Continental engine was a flathead, and the way that this is made, I'm wondering if they didn't just adapt the block to an overhead valve engine, and that's why we still have a side cover. I'm betting that it's the same block as the flathead ones, and then they just put a different head on it and made her go that way. But I don't know that. A Continental expert could enlighten us on that fact. It seems interesting, you know. Alright, let's get that lock washer too. Come on. Or not. Or let's not do that. That's fine. Let's drop it down in the frame where we can't reach it. Sure. I think I see the problem already. Other than that we broke the gasket. The arm looks good. However, there should be a bumper spring. That's gone. So we'll need to acquire that. Oh, I guess it's not what I thought. I thought it was missing a ball in there. Okay. Now I bet. Well, I can't say that either. I'm going to say I wonder if the whole thing probably has to pull out from the back because of it being driving on the... Okay, well, the good news is that I don't see pieces chucked loose. No, I do see pieces chucked loose. That's our problem. I bet there was a bearing on the back side too. Okay, that's good. That means that we know what the issues are. Right? Or is that just the way that this looks? Is it just that this groove was cut into there by the weights? I wouldn't think there'd be two bearings, would there? All right. What I am noticing here is that everything's intact. However, I think it feels a little bit loose, like everything's got a little wear in it. Like maybe at one point in time, this oil line was not putting out enough and it wasn't getting oil up there. Or maybe there's some other issue. Maybe it sat full of water or something. I don't know. It seems like it's together, but it seems like that weight especially got a lot of slop in it. But it is together. So I'm not exactly sure why it wasn't working, other than maybe it just wasn't in good adjustment. I don't think that the broken bumper spring would have anything to do with its issue that it was having. Everything looks, it's dirty, but it looks okay. Okay, let's do something else now. Let's put this back on to keep it. We want to keep the dirt out of it, you know what I'm saying? Let's put that back on loosely. I'll put all 3 of those back on, because we don't know when we're going to get this project back together. We first have to take the head, but the weather hasn't been good enough. It's just not been cooperating. So let's put that there. Let's walk away. Let's go dig in the snow. I'm pretty sure I know where my parts motor is. I don't know if we can get it. Hopefully it's not laying on the, I bet it's laying on the side we need. But if it's not, I'd like to pull that off of there and compare, at least pull this part off and compare and see if it seems like it's looser or the same or better. And then that'll tell us whether we want to go through the trouble of pulling all this off and swapping, or do we want to try to put the tractor back together and readjust everything and see if we can get some action out of the governor and maybe replace this spring or something. You know, that's what we're going to do now, is see if we can, what we can get done, because governors can be a pain. It's like that one on that Ferguson of my uncle's. It has only a very fine, actually that's a Continental engine too, so maybe that's part of our problem, because this tractor's doing the same thing that one was. But maybe the Continental has a very fine range where you can get anything out of it. And that's what I'm wondering. So, but this tractor did work for a while, because I did use it and it was fine. But it just seems like nowadays, or whenever I would use it, it would either be totally at an idle or it would be wide open screaming. And that wasn't going to work. So let's, we should probably take that screwdriver too, because you never know when you need a pry bar / whatever. And we'll see if we can, I know where it's at. It's on a pallet. It's right in the way, and it's on a pallet, because I thought I'll get that pulled off of there and then put the rest of it away. And guess what? It's been there for like 15 years. So that's what we'll do. Oh, friends, this snow. The worst part for me is you got to raise your foot up like 3 times higher than you normally would to walk, so you can get over the drifts. And that's the part that wears you out, you know. It just takes a lot out of you, friends. Well, there it is. Well, as predicted, it's on the wrong side. Also, I forgot that it didn't have a valve cover on it. Oh well. I bought this assuming that it was a boat anchor. The only reason I wanted it was because of the governor. So, oh, I bet it's froze to the ground. Dang it. What do I have around here that I could use as a pry bar? An actual pry bar? That would be cool. Huh. Maybe if I just two-hand it. Oh, come on, fatty. Whew. Okay, well. One thing's apparent. That thing's a pile of garbage anyway. The cover is missing the... Look at that. I bet that's why he put that on the pallet the direction that he did, because that way I couldn't see that it was already garbage. You know, I bet that's exactly what took place. Because that didn't happen sitting here. I mean, whatever. It doesn't matter. This is for parts only. Oh, this one's gonna twist off. Come on, twist off. All right. Well, I'm gonna say right now, predictions are gonna be made. I got took on this rig. There's not gonna be a salvageable piece on the whole darn thing. But I bought it. This is one of those things where I bought it so that I could buy more things later. Kind of get my foot in the door, you know. Break the ice, as you will. And then that way people will sell you more stuff cheap. But so far, I'm saying, we got boat anchor. That's unbelievable right there, people. I mean, that thing's totally trashed. It was full of mouse house. I mean, and like I said, that didn't happen sitting on this part of a pallet, because the oil pan would have been right in there. It wasn't totally on the ground, so, and that don't happen overnight either. No. Oh, the whole stud's coming out. Lovely. Well, we might have that one stud. That might be a part that we can salvage. Okay, friends, take your bets now. Well, that's not going to come off of there either. Come on. It's even got dirt in the governor. How can this be? The spring is good though, so we'll take that with us. Boy, that one, see, I think it seems just as loose. Why don't we just pull the whole thing off and take it with us? Because it's obviously not doing any favors. This motor is not long for this world anyway. We need an extension for that, so we can clear the housing. That'll be good practice for us anyway, to see this come apart so we know what we're doing. But yeah, I'm disappointed in that motor. That's a boat anchor totally. There's nothing usable really. All right. Getting ourselves set up to do it here. Well, how's a guy supposed to get that off of there if nothing will fit in there? Come on now. We're inappropriately doing this, you see. We can't get the socket all the way on there. I guess that's a open-end wrench affair. They could have just as easily made it work, you know. They could have ground a little bit off of there and made her go. All you got to do is come loose. You really don't have to make us work so hard, you know. I really shouldn't have to get up and go get an open-end wrench just because you can't seem to play ball with the rest of us. Everybody else is on board that you're coming off of here. So get that in your mind. And now I gotta switch back to that extension just to get that one the rest of the way off. It might be a good day to just go back in the house, because here I thought the sunshine was out, and it was a good sign that happy times were ahead. But so far I haven't seen any happiness in this yet. Okay, now not knowing is part of the fun. I don't know how this comes off. Like I said, I assume that the governor comes through there. And it does. Okay, it will turn, so that's good. We might as well just take these hardware with us, because it's not going to go. It's going to a worse place. Let's also, whilst we're here, see if we can get. Can we get one of these screws out? Because remember, we're missing one. One of ours vibrated out. So let's take that with us. I'll take a screw. Let's put that. Should we put that in there? All of our hardware that we're gonna keep, because we don't know. We'll probably put that in the service truck or something for. But we need that screw, and that piece. And then we're gonna flip this back over, because that if I flip it over, it won't get any water, hopefully, in the head. Maybe it'll be a salvageable casting if a guy had to have it. But that is a disappointment, friends. Buyer beware. Always look it over better. Maybe it wasn't all the way rusted through when I got it and it finished it off out here, but that's some serious damage. But it's locked up. I only bought it for this right here. So if we could possibly use something off of that, then I guess it paid for itself. I also have more of it around. There's clutch pieces, and I don't remember what else I got from that one, but it is what it is at this point. We'll try to flip it back over, sad as it may be. Come on. Dumb. There's a nice serial number tag. So if that's the serial number of your grandpa's tractor, it doesn't exist anymore. Sorry. Okay, well, what did we learn today? We learned that life ain't fair sometimes. People will sell you stuff that's totally garbage. That's okay though. This is probably a good governor. The question would be, is it worth the effort? That's always the question. Is it worth the effort to take this all loose? That one might be a little less wore there. See, it's kind of subjective in a way. I think this one might be in a little bit better shape. I say that and then immediately change my mind. I wonder what kind of pins those are that are in there. They look like they got a square hole in them. Boys, I don't know. Is it worth cleaning this up? Getting this all... It does work though. I mean, it's flinging the weights out. It's got a part number on it. D600S.204 on the weights. I guess it's the part number of the weights. Now see, this one seems like it's got a little bit of issues in there. So I'm not sold on that there's any reason we should take this one off of ours yet until we investigate more. However, I would not be opposed to, maybe we'll double check these side by side and see. Let's just do that now, because this ain't much of a video anyway. We might as well round out our not much of a video. And yes, we're going to immediately take this loose again, even after I just put it back together, because that's how we roll here. I didn't know that I was going to put it back together. But you'll see what I'm thinking here in just a second. If I get this one pulled back out of here. Let's put that there. Let's take this back off. Let's pull this off. We need to fix that spring. Boy, see, that one's got a lot in it too, though. Look at that. Now, subjectively, can you tell me, is that any more than that? I don't think it is. Also, I can't tell. Just jiggling the weight, these weights do seem looser, I think. At least one of them is. Yeah. See, that one right there feels really bad. I think this governor is tighter in that regard. But do I go through the trouble of, okay, that one is also loose that way, this one is also loose that way. So what I'm getting at is I would rather clean up that whole thing and just bolt it right on here than try to undo the nut, pull the governor out of the drive piece and put it into my housing when it's the same. Here's the thing I wanted to do, though. I wanted to try to set these side by side, and there is a noticeable, you probably can't see it on camera. Let me put it on the head and see if I can make it. Well, it's not as much as it... They're slightly different heights. And what I'm getting at is, does that mean one's more wore than the other? And maybe that's our problem, because it seems like just a hair's width is all it takes. Now I forgot which was which, so it doesn't really matter, does it? This greasy one was mine. I don't know, friends. I don't know. Is it worth the effort? It would be if we knew that it was going to work. Or are both of mine unusually garbage and I'd be better off to buy a third one from somewhere? I'm tempted to say that, because 2 of something doesn't necessarily prove a point, but if you have 3, that might prove the point, whether that's really the problem or what. But definitely we need the spring out of this, so we can swap that at some point. But I'm not sure about the rest of it. I think the governor weights are tighter on the one we just pulled off of the parts motor. So it might be worth it to swap, just so we don't have that fly loose. So that's what I think about that. It's a lot of what ifs, you know. There's no right or wrong answer, I guess. It's just how much work do I want to do. I just really wish that I knew that what I was going to do is going to solve the problem after going through all the trouble. I would like to, like I said, I would like to just swap the whole thing, this housing, and just swap her all instead of trying to go through the trouble of taking this governor out of this piece. Maybe that won't be difficult, but it looks like it could be kind of difficult. I don't know, friends. We'll have to think on that. We're not going to get to this right away, so you can leave your opinion in the comments. And then I won't take it. I'll just do whatever I decide. But it makes you feel like you're part of this, you know, if you just tell me what you think you'd do. But so far, I'm not really thrilled with either of these two governors, but I have a feeling that this is all you're going to find out there. There's not going to be better than this. There's just going to be some that are less wore out, because these are pretty old rigs, you know, and there ain't nobody making new governors to my effect or to my knowledge for these. Maybe there are, because they used them in other applications, but I don't know, friends. I do know that this is the later 3-gear engine, not the 5-gear. Did we talk about that? Maybe briefly in one of the others. The early ones, the ignition stuff was on the opposite side. And then they realized they could save money and eliminate some timing gears in here if they just moved it all over to this side. So that's why you have fuel and ignition on the same side. And then your spark plug wires have to run all the way around. But they decided that was going to save them some cash. So that's how it went. But I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I think that one's a little bit better, so it might be worth the trouble. And we definitely need to back out that screw and spring and swap it over to this one, because you need that bumper spring to keep some of the surging out of it, which it would also do. It would also surge. Sometimes it would get into that fit. So I'm gonna chalk that all of its issues up to just a little bit of wear and maybe not quite adjusted right for what it is. But boy, I don't know. Maybe we want to put her back together first and try to run it and mess with it and see if we can't get it closer with this. But that one weight on this one really makes me nervous. So I don't know, friends. I should look around and try to buy a third one, I think, just so that I knew either that one will be so much better than these two, or that one will be just like these two, or that one will be worse than these two. And then that would tell me kind of a good sampling of what I think. And I don't think I have another one. I'm sure I have another head for one of these, and I got some other parts, but I don't think I got another 3-gear block. I've got a couple 5-gear blocks, but the governor on them's different. And I think I also have another governor assembly off of a 5-gear. But like I said, they're different. They were on the other side. They're totally not the same, to my knowledge. Unless the guts of it were the same, but I don't think they are. I think that they're different. We can go have a look if I can find it. We'll go have a look here, and maybe that'll tell us something. Maybe it won't. But let's go. We'll go take a look, and then that'll give us an excuse to start moving our tools to our next project. Because I got another thing I want to work on in another video that I'll film here in a little bit. Anyway, let's go over there. Oh, the sunshine feels good. It's amazing how the simple sunlight can make 19 feel like, 22. Sure, parts pile. This looks like chaos, but I kind of know what's in there. There's the governor, right on top. And it's made totally differently, see? It actually looks like they outsourced it, doesn't it? Servo governor. Handy brand governor. If only I wasn't an idiot, I bought this somewhere hoping that it would be the third one I had, and I wasn't thinking to look at how it was made, and realized when I got back that, hey, dum-dum, that's a 5-gear governor, not a 3. So that thing ain't gonna work out for us, but if we ever get a Hartfar 70, we might have something for that. All right, well, we're gonna leave this one here. We didn't really accomplish anything other than fact finding, but now we're puzzled. We've talked ourselves into a conundrum. Do we do something or do we not? And that's where we are. That's always the struggle bus, but sometimes that's how life goes. So I guess with that being said, we're going to leave this one here. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.